Namaste. Om Shruti Smriti Purananam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavatpadam Shankaram Lokashankaram Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutra Bhashya Kritau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punaha ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्ति भेद विभागिने व्योमवत् व्याप्त देहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः सदाशिव समारंभां शंकराचार्य मध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्य पर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम् ओम सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै ओम शांति शांति शांति. Can you all hear me? Okay. Okay. So I'll just unmute a couple of you. We'll see how that works. So unmuted Ashutosh and Sajeev, just for your information.
Sure. No, the only thing is my son may start banging the door in the background, so you may hear some noise there. But otherwise, yeah, I'm good.
Yeah. So whenever you think you want to mute it, go ahead and mute yourself.
Okay. Okay.
So yeah, well, let's chant the prayer mantra. Om Vasudevendra Yogendra Natva Jnanapradam Mumukshunam Hitarthaya Tattvabodho Vidiyate. So we are looking at the question and answer. Question raised by the student, Atma Kaha, and the answer given by the student. Sachidananda Rupa San Yas Tishtati Sa Atma. So that is what we are discussing. So last class we looked at, we extended the boundary between I and the world further, and we looked at what we termed as consciousness, and we made certain observations about consciousness. We saw that in every cognition means in every time I perceive something, a vritti happens in my mind. And so we said, when I look at an apple like this, we say there is apple consciousness. There is apple cognition, apple consciousness. I am conscious of the apple. So there is apple consciousness, there is fan consciousness, there is computer consciousness, there is book consciousness, there is tree consciousness, and there is the car consciousness, food consciousness, and so on and so forth. So in all these things, we saw that the object is the variable, correct? The object is a variable. And we are asking the question, what is invariable? So is any of you getting any feedback? Some noise or something like that?
No.
Like a TV voice, the noise, something is coming in the background.
So we were looking for what is the invariable. Is there anything invariable? And we say that the consciousness that I am is invariable in all these cognitions. And we also said, can I, like I objectify everything in this world, can I objectify the consciousness also? And we said that we cannot do that. We cannot do that because I am that consciousness. And it is because of me that I am able to be conscious of everything. It is because of me that I can say, I can see so many things, I can say, I can interact. When there is a movie, the fact that you saw a movie, a documentary on YouTube, if you say, that the fact that the frames keep changing constantly. Those days I used to think that some 16 frames per second or 32 frames per second. Frames have to move, photographs, it's like changing constantly. You've seen those olden days, those reels and reels of, my goodness. I was sitting next to the projector person when we were watching all these movies, and I used to watch, used to change and do this and do that, and a lot of things I used to do. And you look at that, it's all the same picture. What? Yeah, so if it keeps moving fast, then there is some motion on the screen. So one little laugh has 32 frames, 32 pictures are moved already per second. So like that, the mind also, things have to move, the vritti has to change. Only then I can say, I can see so many things. Now I'm seeing the fan, now I'm seeing the book, now I'm seeing the computer, now I'm seeing Prasadji, now I'm seeing Maheshji, and now I'm seeing Deepaji. So how I can say that? Because the vritti is changing. And at the same time, the consciousness doesn't change. And that consciousness cannot become an object. And we also said, when these vrittis change, one vritti, the apple vritti, replaces the cloth vritti. The cloth vritti replaces the face vritti. The face vritti replaces the water vritti. Like this, so constantly one vritti is being replaced by the other. And we ask the question, is consciousness, can it be displaced? Can it be replaced by something else? And we said that is not possible. Consciousness cannot be displaced. Okay, so these 3 or 4 points we saw. And we also said, we looked at the example of, we looked at the imagery of perception, just visual perception. And we said that the sun shines because the eyes see. The eyes are able to see because my mind is there behind the eyes. And the mind is able to show so many things because I am behind the mind. And therefore, I bhati, the mind anubhati, the mind bhati, the eyes anubhati, eyes bhati, sun anubhati. Amazing. The sun, the self-luminous, bright object sun, we have made it into a inert object. And we are saying the sun cannot shine unless I am there behind. So this we have seen. So that is why we ask the question, do I exist? If we say, everything else is becoming evident to me, and should consciousness also become evident to me? So if I ask you if there is this particular, if there is a cell phone near you, then you have to look around and say, yes, there is a cell phone near me. So evidence must be there. You need to gain evidence of something before you can say. So does my existence also require evidence? Okay, important question. To say that I exist, do you need evidence or not? This question we asked. And we said, I am the only thing, only entity in this world that does not require evidence to show itself. I am self-revealing. I am self-evident. Okay? So this idea of self-evidence comes, which is important when we talk about Atma. Okay? This also we saw. So, and this is where we said that the Atma is beyond senses. If somebody says, this is what they mean. They have to mean one or more of the following things. It has to mean that the senses, my five senses cannot objectify Atma. How much ever I try, whatever instrument I put, I can put binoculars, I can put sophisticated instruments, I can put an electron microscope, I can put particle accelerators, but the accelerator cannot show me, cannot objectify me, because I am behind that. I am behind that instrument. I am the observer. So that I cannot be objectified, and that consciousness is self-evident. So when they say the Atma is beyond senses, senses cannot objectify it, no instruments can help me objectify it. Agochara, Sanskrit there is another word. Agocharam. Agocharam means this is not available for the senses. Amazing. So greatest secret, sometimes they say, Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, he tells Arjuna, this is the greatest secret. What is the secret, you tell me? They are protecting this secret. Sometimes they say secret means they don't teach all these things to everybody. They have kept it secret. Hey, nobody, there is nothing to keep secret. You are already there. What secret is there? Do you exist or not? Yes, I exist. That I is the subject matter. What is the secret? I is not a secret at all. It can't be kept a secret. So when they say secret, they must mean that I cannot be perceived, not available. That is the secret nature of I. Correct? Now you understand? These sentences when they say, so that's why they say sometimes, there was a question, is it all right to study the scriptures by ourselves, Shastram by ourselves? Yeah, it is all right, why not? But when you come to these sentences, when the book says the I is beyond the senses, what will you imagine? What you have to imagine something when there's a sentence, Atma is beyond sense perception, means you have to imagine something. Means what? Now you have to look up. Beyond sense perception means, oh, far away. God is far away, I know that. Therefore, yeah, beyond sense perception. Yeah, correct. That is true. Beyond sense perception. That is what I will imagine. Distance. Big distance is there. But there is no distance here at all. So this also we saw last time. So just reviewing the last class, there was some feedback I got that the last class was interesting and it is worth reviewing. And I think if you have time, I think it is worth reviewing the last class by going through that class. So that is why the Shastram also uses the word Jyotir Jyoti, the light of all lights. So you may have seen these words. These phrases are all not so uncommon. You see all these things. Light of all lights. So without a proper explanation, we won't understand these phrases. We'll start imagining things. Light of all lights means what? We don't know what it is. So that is why we first explain all these things. And sometimes when the Shastram says Jyotir Jyotihi, that means this Atma, like we said, without the eyes, the sun cannot shine. Without the mind, the eyes cannot see. Without me, the mind cannot function. That is called Jyotir Jyotihi. I am the consciousness that is shining all the time. Correct? Shining all the time. Jyotir Jyotihi, which means light of lights. Light of light. Anything that you think is shining, that shining, there is another consciousness behind that. So you can connect this, by the way, you can connect this idea of light behind lights with the discussion we had some weeks ago also. Some weeks ago, we analyzed the pot. We analyzed the wave, remember, right? The pot was analyzed and said, there is really no pot, there is only clay, remember? There is really no wave, there is only water. Wave is just a name and a form. And further analyze the water and you say there is really no water, there is only hydrogen atoms and oxygen atoms. Every part of the wave is a hydrogen atom or an oxygen atom. That's all there is. The physicists will not agree that there is anything other than these atoms. What is it, they will ask? Or there is space. Because every atom, every molecule, there is this, nucleus is there and electrons and protons are going around. And the volume that the electrons occupies is so little. There is so much empty space in every atom, correct? So much empty space. And they say if you collapse this entire world, if you remove all the empty space and put all the atoms, protons, neutrons together, they say it will be like a small ping pong ball. Which means there is so much empty space in this world. Correct? It is also amazing when we study all these things. It is just fascinating because we think there is solid, but there is no solid. There is all space there. And a few electrons and particles is moving around so fast and it gives you the feeling of solidity. Correct? Mm-hmm. Some of our physicists can corroborate that. So, Jyotir Jyotihi. Therefore, we analyze there that finally what exists must be self-existent. The wave is mithya, the water is mithya, the hydrogen atom is mithya, oxygen is mithya. Is there any satyam? Yes, there must be a satyam. And that satyam, now you can connect to this consciousness. By the way, we are not yet doing that. I'm just reminding you, that's all. We are not formally doing that yet. Okay. Jyotir Jyoti. That is where we are. So now the question is being asked. This wonderful Atma that you have talked about, which is now very fascinating to me, can I experience the Atma? Can I experience it? Because, experience is a very important thing in our lives. We want to have a good experience. That's why we take vacations. We take vacations because we want a change. We want a good experience for a change. Going to office, coming back, going to school, cooking every day, sending children back and forth, and beat traffic every 5 o'clock in the evening and 8 o'clock in the morning. How long can we handle this? After a while, we say we need a change, a different experience. So we go to some place and we enjoy for a few days, a week, maybe even a month. And then by that time, we are ready to come back to the same experience we used to have, which we wanted to get away from. But that is how life is. So now the question is, I want to have Atma experience. Correct? That is the next question, Atma experience. We just said Atma cannot be objectified. The objectifier is the Atma, we just said. In every experience, Atma is very much there. Whether I'm laughing or whether I'm crying or whether I'm talking, whether I'm sleeping, whether I'm eating, Atma is very much there in the experience. Atma is what makes that experience possible. So this is where we can go astray, because there are many people promising the Atma experience. And we all are experience hunters. And so we go after this Atma experience. Swamiji makes a lot of fun about this. And so here we have to recognize that there is no Atma. Special experience is not possible, not needed, because even the special experience, if we have, even that experience is mithya, and Atma is what the satyam behind the mithya. Then what about Atma? How do I recognize Atma? Yes, you just said the word recognize. Atma has to be recognized for what it is. Exactly like the example we have given, the sun is revolving around the earth. World over, they used to say sun revolved around the earth. Scientists also thought like that. Until a few people came around. At least that's what our books say. Copernicus, Kepler and all these people. Galileo, they all had a different view. They said, no, that can't be true. The earth has to revolve around the sun. And our rishis also had said the same thing. So here is a classic case where if somebody says, you tell the person, hey, the sun doesn't revolve around you, you revolve around the sun. And the guy says, I want to experience it. I want to experience the earth revolving around the sun. Until then, I won't believe you. What will you tell? Hey, that is not the way it works. The sun is stationary. Yes, when sun is stationary, earth revolves around the sun. There is an apparent perception. Apparently, it looks like the sun is revolving around the earth. This is called relative motion. And you have to give him a big lecture. At the end of the lecture, he says, yes, I understand that. I understand now that the earth is revolving around the sun. But how can I experience the earth revolving around the sun? I still experience sun revolving around the earth. You see the dilemma now. You see the dilemma. So this experience will not work even in such a simple example. The experience is always the sun revolving around the earth. That experience will never change. Even for the most famous quantum physicist, it won't change. Even for the greatest scientist, it won't change. Even for the physicist who discovered this, that the sun is the center of the universe, center of the solar system, it won't change. The perception remains the same. Perception need not change. Remember that. Perception need not change to appreciate a fact. When a fact is perceived, it is understood. When a fact is understood, then clarity is there. I do not take perception to be reality, to be the ultimate reality. I can accept perception as it is. I can say, hey, that when the sun is stationary and the earth revolves around the sun, there will be an apparent perception that the sun is rising and the sun is setting. It is all right to say the sun is rising, nothing wrong. We are not fooled by it. It's all right to get up in the morning at 5:30 while it is dark, and when the sun is rising to say namaskar and say tato yuddha parishrantam and chant Aditya Hridayam and welcome the sun. He is the sustainer of the universe, of this universe as we know it. Perfectly all right to do that. Perfectly all right to offer the prayers when the sun is setting down and say, you have made my day brilliant, bright, and I am indebted to you. We are all living here today because of you. Perfectly all right to say that and talk about sunrise at 6:12 in the morning, sunset at 5:47 p.m. All that we can talk, nothing wrong. Those things do not fool us into thinking that the sun is revolving around the earth. Does it fool us? No, it doesn't fool us because knowledge is clear. Knowledge gives you the clarity. Therefore, here also it is the same thing. Atma is what it is. We are beginning to appreciate it. And I have made a mistake. Like with the sun, I made a mistake that the sun revolves around the earth. I have made a mistake about myself. And we are beginning to learn what that mistake is. Okay? All right. So if the question is asked, is Atma to be experienced or Atma is to be understood, recognized? The answer is Atma has to be recognized for what it is. Okay, so that is that. So therefore, very important thing we learn from this is experience. When we say experience is only a starting point for inquiry. Listen to this. Experience is only a starting point for inquiry. That is why a scientist could come up and talk about the solar system and say, don't take this too literally. Correct? Experience is a starting point for inquiry. We don't simply accept, we don't look at something and say, whatever I see is true. We don't say that. Yeah, I see something, but what is the reality of that perception? That is what we ask. That is why when you walk on a hot day, when you drive on the road, or if you walk on sand, you are going to see water in front of you. And you are not going to say, oh, there is a lake in front of me. We are approaching a lake. Nobody says that. That's what the physicists call mirage. Not fooled by a mirage. I see water. Is there water or what? No, there is no water. We don't need to remove the perception of water in order to appreciate that there is no water. Let the perception be. Knowledge shines. Nobody in the world is fooled by a mirage. I don't know about animals. I don't know about the camel, whether it is fooled by a mirage or not. I wish I can read. Some scientist perhaps has done some research on that, whether these animals keep going after this mirage. Pani, unko bhi pani chahiye na. They also need water, poor things. Okay, so important fact to keep that in the back of the mind. Okay. So now, so we have all these mistaken notions. about ourselves and the world. And the Shastram introduces a few words to correct those notions. The Shastram introduces a few words to correct those notions. And we are slowly getting into that. So let's recap what those notions are in a different way. So looking at the struggles of the human being once again, the human being wants to be happy. I want to be happy. I want to be happy. Or let's go back one step. I want to live. That is better. That is better. I want to live. I want to live one more day. At least one more day. I think I'm going to live for a long time. At least that's how it appears, the way people are behaving. It appears like nobody is afraid. They're all happy. They think they're going to live for a long time. At the same time, people are just passing away around us. And so I want to live. I want to live one more day. This is our common experience. And especially in India, this is very common. Even the other day I heard my aunt and all were telling me on the phone, I want to die peacefully. I want to die so I don't burden, uncle. All these are all common statements. You all have heard all these things, right? Grandmother will say that. I want to go without disturbing. I want to peacefully die. Etc. All these are very common statements. They will say this as a matter of speaking. So the grandmother says, I want to go. I hope he takes me soon. So all suffering and all is there. So that it's a very common statement. So I want to go soon. So one day Yama comes. Come on, auntie, let's go. You have been calling me all these years. Finally, I didn't have time. I was so busy. So now I have come. Let's go. And auntie looks at Yama and says, you're Yama. So nice to see you. So nice to meet you. Look, you know very well. I have 10 grandchildren. And the first grandchild is conducting the marriage of her child. In 1 month, it's going to happen. You know all this very well. Why didn't you come 1 month later? In fact, I'll give you a suggestion. You come 1 month later. I want to see the marriage of that daughter. Don't you think I should see her marriage? Don't I deserve to see it? So this Yama is stuck. He comes and then he's stuck. He said, how am I going to argue with this lady? So I want to live. Even though I keep telling people I want to die, I really don't want to die. This much I think we are very clear about. Okay. But see, living is not enough because we see there are suicides. How can a person commit suicide when I want to live? This is ridiculous. Then we come to the conclusion that I want to live and I want to live happily. I want to live happily. Who wants to live with all kinds of pain? Joints are paining and there is arthritis and there is arthritis is okay and the liver problem is there and liver is okay and then some ulcer problem comes and day after day there is a problem. Day after day. Nobody wants to live that kind of life. So I want to live and I want to live happily. Free from pain and sorrow. I think this much is very clear. Yeah, that is why we change jobs. Why should we change jobs? Tell me why we should change jobs. Salary is there. You are going to work. They are happy with you. What's the problem with you? Arey nahi yaar. A job satisfaction nahi milta hai. This boss is crazy. This company is going nowhere. Something, we'll have 10 excuses to give, whatever it is. So change of jobs. So not making me happy. Correct? So not making me happy. Therefore, I want to do something so that I can be happier. So I want to live. I want to live happily. I think these two we can definitely say is a common need, common urge for all human beings. And we also need to add one more thing here. I don't want to be ignorant. I don't want to be ignorant. You know, if you're going in a car or a bus, the other day I was taking a bus to Tirupur, and then suddenly in a highway the bus stopped. So traffic jam like situation stopped, and we didn't expect a traffic jam. So slowly it goes around, and then you see here there has been an accident. There has been an accident. So everybody gets up and goes, looks at that, gets up from the bus and wants to see what happened. Why can't you simply sit and say accident? Yeah, I mean, I've seen many accidents. Okay, some car got hit or something, whatever. No, I want to see. I can't stand being ignorant of this fact that is there right in front of me. I can't stand ignorance. I have to know what happened. So I've seen this happen so many times, everywhere, even in US I've seen. Suddenly traffic jam. Traffic jam not because there is too many cars on the road. It is because these people are all standing and watching the other side. And the cars coming this way. And there's cops and there is all this light shining and all these things. People are watching. And because of that, the traffic has slowed down. That's all. Correct? So that is very common. Now, husband and wives can practice this example. You can tell. Husband can say, you know Radhika? Yeah, I know Radhika. You know what she said yesterday? Yeah, what did she say? I will tell you tomorrow. I'll tell you tomorrow. No, what did she say? I told you, I'll tell you tomorrow. What? I'll tell you tomorrow. And she leaves. And then she comes back, says, what did Radhika say? Best way, if you want to torture somebody, don't do this. I mean, no, please, husband and wife should not try this. I'm just joking, that's all. If you want somebody, if you want to make somebody not get sleep, this is what you should do. I have a great secret to tell you. I will tell you tomorrow. So, because I can't stand that being ignorant. I'm not talking about ignorance of great subjects and things like that, cardiology. So yeah, I am ignorant, but I don't feel bad that I don't know much about cardiology. Only thing I know about cardiology is that it has to do about the heart. That's the only thing I know. Cardiology is a lot more than that. But I don't feel bad about that. So we're not talking of that kind of ignorance. That I can say, yeah, I can live with it. But in general, basic ignorance, we can't deal with that. That's why we don't like. I think that is why we don't like somebody telling us, you don't know even this much. You don't know even this much means what? It's a slap on the face. This much you don't know. That's why we can't handle somebody saying, you're stupid. We can't handle that statement. I think if somebody says we are stupid, I think it just shakes us from our foundations. Stupid? Means it goes right here. The arrow just got into the heart. I'm stupid. Who are you to say I'm stupid? I will react. You are stupid. Your parents are stupid. That's why you are stupid. I'm not stupid. The whole thing starts after that. That's because I can't handle that. I can't handle being told I'm stupid. That's why we should be careful. These words we should remove from our vocabulary. This idiot, stupid, all these things we don't need at all. We don't need in our conversations. Dangerous words. I think all you people know this very well. Especially married. Especially married people have a lot of experience with this. So I don't have to lecture on that. And I'm not qualified to lecture also. So therefore, three things, three urges are: I want to live happily, and I want to live without being ignorant. Okay? Three urges, strong urges of any human being. This I think we can agree. Now, these three urges come from what conclusions? What conclusions have I drawn about life which make me have these urges? I want to live comes from the conclusion that I am a mortal. I'm a mortal. I can die any day. My life can go just like that. Therefore, I want to live. I want to live. I want to live. And I will do so many things to make sure I will live some more time. I will live a little. Correct? Then, I want to be happy. Why I want to be happy? Because I have concluded that I am subject to unhappiness, I am subject to inadequacy, I am subject to imperfection, and so I want to be happy. I know the possibility that I can become unhappy, and therefore I want to be happy. Conclusion number 2, correct? Third conclusion, I want to know. I want to know is more. I want to know. So that comes from the conclusion that I am ignorant. I am ignorant. Common conclusion. And I need to know more. I need to know. So 3 urges coming from 3 kinds of conclusions. Okay. So Vedanta, if you ask what is Vedanta, it addresses these 3 urges, these 3 conclusions. That is one way of talking about Vedanta. It has nothing to do with anything else, really speaking. All sciences, all logic, all this, that, everything, it will use. Vedanta can use, but really speaking, this is what Vedanta is concerned about. Who am I? Am I really unhappy? Am I really a mortal? Am I really ignorant? That's all Vedanta is. All the books, all the 18 chapters of Bhagavad Gita, all the Upanishads, everything you pick up, everything our acharyas have written finally boils down to all this. Knowing myself. Are these conclusions true or not? That's all. Because it's an experience. I am a mortal is an experience. I am unhappy is an experience. I am ignorant is an experience. Are these experiences to be taken literally is the question. Like the experience of revolving around earth, sun revolving around the earth, is it to be taken literally? That is what Vedanta is. Okay. So now, if you look at the body, I have so many complaints about my body. I am sick. I am short. I am lean. I am fat. I need to shed 40 pounds. And I've been trying to do this for the last four years. Not a pound I have lost. I am dark. I am this. I am that. I say. But the body doesn't seem to have any problem. The body doesn't say, I am fat. And it keeps on gathering weight happily. I wish the body had a separate mind, some chip it must have had, and say, hey body, you take care of yourself. You're a big pain for me, and you need to be a little more intelligent. Come on, stupid body. See, I used the word stupid already once after advising everybody that we should not use the word stupid. That's how entrenched these things are. Now, this stupid word, really, I'm telling you, we never used to use it so much in India. When I went to America, that's when I heard, oh, this stupid thing, that stupid thing. Stupid dog, they used to say. Stupid dog? I never heard that phrase in India. Stupid dog, stupid cow and all. We never use those words. And they use the word stupid. Very interesting. Very interesting. So, the body doesn't complain at all about its weight. I complain about the body's weight. So the problem, if you see, this problem of the human being is what we call, is centered on I. The problem, whatever problem I have, whether it is about my body or about my family or about my friends or about my job or about my health, it is centered on I. Atma. Centered on I. Means what? Even though the problem belongs to something else, I have owned up the problem. I have told myself, I am that problem. And I have to get rid of that problem. I try hard to get rid of the problem. So that's what we mean when we say the problem is centered on I. And if you look at one more thing, if the problem is real, look at this, very simple, beautiful argument. If the problem is real, namely, if I am a mortal, then nobody can change it. If that is real, who can change the reality? If I am fundamentally unhappy, who can change that? I have to live with it. That is how I am created. So, if these conclusions I have made are intrinsically true, then nobody can change it because they are true. Correct? That is why we have to entertain the possibility of an alternative. So if you look at all the other religions, big religions of this world, what do they say? They only confirm these conclusions I've made. What conclusions I've made? I say I am unhappy. The other religion says, yes, you are unhappy. True. And it will be like this for the rest of life. I am a mortal. Yes, you are a mortal. All religions confirm these conclusions of the human being. No question even, not even questioning the conclusion. That is why these religions are what I call marketplace religions. And they tell you, they give you an offer, array, you follow this God, and then you will be reserved a place in heaven. And there you can live forever happily. And of course, there is a big queue waiting because nobody has a solution for this. It's a common conclusion, of course. So I get some relief when I hear that. Really? There's a heaven? This Jesus will take me to heaven? Yeah, I'm ready for it. Why not? Because I need that. Nobody can deny this. Therefore, big line waiting. And one friend told me long ago, years ago, I asked him, why did you become a Christian? He says, Christianity is a simple religion. You just have to go to church one day. Sunday of the week, you go and then you get salvation and you go to heaven. I said, idiot. Okay, I used the word idiot at that time. Hey, you are following a religion because it is simple. It is saying something simple like this. That is why you follow a religion. A religion that makes you think is what you want. Not promises that are being made, which can't be validated. I will also promise heaven. Come, you follow me. I will have a big theory behind that. I can develop a theory. Will you follow me? This is not acceptable. This mind has to be challenged here. You can't simply follow somebody. And Swamiji used to say, this is one of those, vacation trips. They take you on a trip. Like they give you a nice advertisement, Hawaii, beautiful blue waters and coconut trees, palm trees. And, you're lying down like this and life is all great, So all of us, at least it is so nice to even look at the picture. We feel good, even looking at the picture. I think we all need that. Nice to see blue waters, blue sky. Nice, because where is the sky here? I can't see the sky. And water, blue water, what blue water? Landlocked country here and lakes are all vanishing. There is no chance of seeing blue water. So nice to see that postcard. So good it is. So these theologies, understand, I have to say this because that is exactly the difference between dharma and all other religions. Very clear now. I am very clear about it. Promises being made and conclusions are simply validated. Yeah, those conclusions are true. You can't do anything about it. God has to come and take care of you. Here, hey, Ishvara is there. You are there. Fundamentally, there is no difference between you and Ishvara. Hey, you have made a mistake. And let me teach you what that mistake is. Look at the vast difference between these two. How can people say all religions are same? Can we ever say all religions are same? After hearing this, all religions lead to the same goal? What goal? Ridiculous statements. We can never make such statements. All religions lead to the same goal. Because the goals are different. In fact, all the other religions are very clear. They are actually clearer than us, I feel. They are clear. All religions do not lead to the same goal. You guys are all going to heaven and hell. We are all going to heaven. We are the chosen people. They are very clear. We need to learn from them. I tell our Hindu friends, hey, we need to learn from them. They think you are going to hell. They are going to heaven. And you think all religions lead to the same goal. Hey, they don't lead to the same goal. I'm not saying it. Your own friends are saying it. I have to tell them all these things. And so point here being that these conclusions I have made, and here we are questioning our conclusions. Vedanta makes me question those conclusions. Vedanta doesn't simply go along with my conclusions. This is very important about Sanatana Dharma. That is why this Dharma is called Sanatana. Some people ask me, what is Sanatana? So much we can't even, the word Sanatana can't be explained easily. It is not easy to explain Sanatana. Eternal Dharma. What is eternal? Dharma is Mithya. Nachiketa tells Yama, hey, even Dharma is Mithya, he says. Yama knows this boy is not an ordinary boy. He has recognized Dharma is important, but even Dharma is Mithya, he says. Golden shackle. So what is eternal? So we need to understand that. So hopefully in these classes, we will appreciate more and more of that. Okay, we'll pause now. Om Swasti Prajabhyah Paripalayantam Nyayena Margena Mahim Mahisha Go Brahmanebhyah Shubhamastu Nityam Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu Kale Varshatu Panjanyah Prithvi Sasya Shalini Desho Yam Kshobarahitah Brahmana Santu Nirbhayaha Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah Sarve Santu Niramayaha Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu Ma Kaschit Dukha Bhag Bhavet Asato Ma Sadgamaya Tamaso Ma Jyotirgamaya Mrityorma Amritangamaya Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Hari Om